Hello, Syed. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a real pleasure to have you here. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself and about the sort of work that you're doing in the repair industry?
Thank you for having me today. My name is Sayed Ahmed. I co-founded iTechshark, and iTechshark is the parent company for our software company. It's called Buyback.ai, and iTechshark also the parent company of our Buyback company. It's called sellshark.com.
Right. So you have both a repair company and a buyback company. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, and the repair company is the retail store basically, and the Buyback company is the software company at the same time.
All right. That's actually really good. So it's but you have two parallel businesses running, and that's pretty unique because I don't think a lot of people in the repair industry have that sort of thing going on. So could you tell us a bit about your experience with managing your repair store and why you chose to get into the buyback market?
So we started as a single store back in about 2012, and it was just we're just doing repairs, and that was about it. And we started doing buybacks also around the same time. We have the nationwide company. It's called sellshark.com. We figured out, and I know some people might not like what I'm saying about this part. Repair start to slow down a little bit, and you see the way it's going. Apple is locking down everything, and the T2 chip, and they're serializing everything. So we wanted to just get a head start about what's going on with the way it's going with the repair, and we wanted to focus on the buyback. We found the market that nobody's getting into, and there was missing revenues on the buyback. So we started focusing on the buyback about 3 years ago, and we spent good time and resources building our own software. Software we actually been using it since about 13 years, but we never thought about distributing it to enterprise and other repair stores.
Right. So about 3 years ago, you started your buyback business, and that was, I believe, predicated, like you mentioned, by Apple's aggressive stance towards the cell phone repair industry. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we had to find a way to just make other revenues other than repairs because it's gonna slow down more down the road, and the buyback was was some segment that nobody was actually getting into, and we found a way to scale the software, and we have the nationwide buyback company that started.
That's great. So tell me a bit about the software that you've created. What got you into that process? What sort of experiences did you have when trying to make that software and then, deploying it and marketing it out?
Yeah, it's starting with the software. It's a long journey that we started it about 13 years ago, and the software we're just using it exclusively for ourselves, running our nationwide buyback company. We really got good revenues from the buyback software, and we, with the repair going slowing down a little bit, we thought about finding other ways to help the other repair stores. And with the experience we have with the buyback and how we handle all the back end and the front end, we figured out why not? We can just start a software company where we can scale up this software, and we start helping other repair stores with all this buyback software thing.
Right. So what sort of challenges did you encounter when trying to create that software?
So at the time we started that, there was no really big companies running it other than few companies like Gazelle.com, and they were not. It was not a simple interface. It was some sort of a complicated. Wasn't easy for customers to just get the prices they're looking for. So we just wanted to find a platform that's really very easy for the clients and for everybody to just get the price right away, because there's nothing worse than someone trying to sell a product for you, and they go to the website and all they see is like fill up the form, leave your email, we'll get back to you. So we just wanted to find a right solution for that. And of course, there were challenges down the road. Developers, how to start the software, how to scale it up, how to configure the software to meet everybody's need, because not every repair store will just need the same backend. It's not like a one size fits all. So we had to make it easy for everybody to be able to configure the backend and add their pricing and add their product in an easy way, and they can customize whatever they want. So these were some of the challenges we have with scaling up the software for enterprise distribution and uh, providing it to other repair stores.
All right. So tell us a bit about the when you created that software and you started pitching it out to different repair stores. The sort of needs that they required and how you had to tailor that software according to their demands.
Correct. Yeah. So we didn't offer the software yet. We are about to start offering it like mid July, like next month, and we're getting feedback. There are some people using it right now. They're actually running it live on their websites. We're getting feedbacks from them. Uh, there has been delays with releasing the software itself because of the different needs and different demands from everybody. There are people they're just looking for pricing on their front end, like they needed a widget where they can their customers see the pricing without any processing anything in the back end. And there are customers that they need the pricing on the front end and they need to process the orders on the back end, be able to print the payment checks or process the payment. And there are clients that they actually need the whole nationwide software, like the front end and the back end and shipping labels and all the automation that we have. So it's a big challenge. We're still trying to figure it out. But the good news is, and I just knew that yesterday from the developers team, we are officially releasing a free, like I mean, free uh, local buyback version for all the local repair stores. Anybody interested in that? There is no commitment, there is no payment, there is nothing. This is the free tier we're providing. We have other two tiers for the professionals and for enterprise, but we're so happy to provide the free solution for the repair stores. Anybody needs it, we'll be happy to integrate their front end with the pricing gadget widgets and their back end with the processing all the software. And more good news is it's actually integrated with the RepairDesk.
That's great. That's actually really good news because I believe that a lot of repair shops would like to branch out into this new niche, this side business that they can create more revenue streams from. And having the tools to be able to do that is a lot more beneficial because a lot of repair stores they want to be able to do something, but making those inroads is a little difficult because they don't know how. Software helps out quite a lot because those are basically the tools that you need to accomplish what you want. And it's great that you have a free pricing plan where people can come in and test the software out, use it according to their liking, and also provide feedback to you so that you can continue to tweak, continue to improve. So, could you tell us a bit more about uh, the experience with repair shops in general and how that sort of, modeled your software and the sort of business that you wanted?
So majority of the repair shops right now, there's nobody handling any buyback. And someone wants to sell them something, they will have to go to eBay, sold items, figure out the price, and they just tell the customer, right, like, hey, your iPhone is $30, right? And customer wouldn't sell it, for example, then the customer will come back again next day, ask another person in the same store, and the other person will tell them, hey, it's $25. It doesn't really sound professional, and there's no automation in the process, and it's just a random process. Most of repair stores they're having it right now. So all they need a simple solution and they need automation to get that to work. And by providing that software, it really will make people's life easy. Like the customer can just go to the website and they just with a few clicks they can get the price for what they need, and they can just go to the store, or if you have a nationwide buyback enabled, they can just print a label with a click from the website. They will just print the label, just stick it on a box and ship it to whoever buying it, like the store or the warehouse or whatever. And on the back end, everything is processed automatically. You can print the barcodes and you can process the orders, and you can just load it on an e-commerce website automatically as well.
All right, that's great. So you mentioned about automation that your software has that. Could you tell me a bit about your time as working with your repair shop and how automation was necessary over there? I mean, what areas did you want automation to be in with your day-to-day business?
Yeah, one of the biggest issues that repair shops they have is the lack of the automation. They, they they still do things manually. They still price things manually. They still load their products manually on an e-commerce website. And with the automation we actually have price match, automatic price match on the site. Uh, our SalesShark website will be feeding all the benchmark for the pricing. And on the back end, there is an option to set it up manually. You can change the pricing, whatever you want. But for someone who never done buyback, they need a benchmark to start with. So we're providing our pricing to the website and they can manage it automatically from the backend or manually, percentage or dollar wise. Like let's say we offer for an iPhone 7, we offer $60, right? Other shop doesn't want to offer the 50 or $60. So they can change the pricing from the backend percentage higher than us or lower than us. So everything is automated, like really with few clicks, you get everything done. And at the same time, if you have a Shopify integrated on the website, you can feed all that product automatically on Shopify. It will just be processed on the buyback software, and you can just load it with few clicks back to the e-commerce like Shopify or any e-commerce platform.
All right, that's great. So it's basically automation from the perspective of, your day-to-day tasks, about taking buybacks in, and it's also automation in terms of integrating with other softwares like your e-commerce platforms, like you mentioned Shopify. So it makes sure that you don't have your fingers in a lot of pies. You don't have to go around switching between software and trying to manage everything individually. If you focus on one area, everything else elsewhere gets taken care of. So I believe that's a very important need for repair shops. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because without automation, you're losing too much time and money and resources. And with the automation, things gets easier, and you can handle everything with just few clicks on a website or on the back end. So it does help with the whole process.
Right, that's great. And what sort of feedback have you gotten from your customers with regards to all this automation stuff that you've been incorporating?
What the feedbacks we're getting from our customers right now, there are a few testing the software and it's live. They're using it fully tested. We get feedbacks for like new features that they want. As I told you, everybody has different needs for the features they are looking for. Some people they want the customers to be able to ask for a custom quote. Like if something is not on the website, like let's say a school wants to sell 50 something that's not on the website, there's a form they can actually still send it on the website with whatever they need, and they will get the price back on an email or something like that. But 95% of the products are automated on the website, but there's always something that's not there. Like someone wants to sell a vacuum that's not on the website. So we're giving the option with flexibility for things that are not there. You still will get it done. So what we're getting now, it's just all about the feedbacks, and we're trying to make everybody happy. I know it's hard. That's why it's taking time from us. We didn't release the software; it keeps delayed because we still need to add new features for everybody. We're trying to make it universal software so you can customize whatever you want from the backend.
Right. Well, that's great that you have a backing component that sort of customizes everything according to what everyone wants. And of course, with software, that's how it is. That things do get delayed. You have a lot of things to be able to take care of, and you're always kind of revising, kind of fixing things up. It always feels like it's in beta phase and not really a full release because there's just so much tweaking going on.
Correct. We don't want to release like a half-baked software. We would rather delay it and release it right than just randomly releasing it and having bugs and software issues. So I know some people are not happy with the delay, but it's all for their benefits. We just want to help people and just providing stable, fully baked software that's ready to be used from day one.
All right, that's great. And that's definitely the right way to be able to go about it. So, I believe we've let's move on towards more towards the business side of everything. So you have two big companies that you're running right now. One is your repair outfit, and one is the software outfit that you're running and providing to customers. So to be able to build these two, what sort of journey did you go through, and what sort of difficulties did you encounter along the way, just trying to set things up and get them rolling?
We, like any businesses, we had many challenges. We made many mistakes in the past, but what matters is changing course and doing things right. So, a few years ago, we started reopening multiple locations, retail stores. At one point, we had about 5 or 6 retail stores, and we had a big warehouse, and we had about 30 team members or 35 team members plus 20 team members from the software company. So things were really growing so fast, and I call that a V-shaped growth, which is really not healthy. We just want a steady growth, and the V-shape was not what we were looking for. So we we changed course and we closed a few stores, and now we're just on one location. It might sound like, oh, these guys are just closing the stores and business is bad, but I want to tell you that since we closed the other locations, the business is booming and we're making more revenues than the 5 or 6 stores we have. So this is some of the challenges we had. We were spending money and spending money, and we didn't know what we want. We didn't know what we want to be. We just wanted to grow, but growth was not the answer for the business. You just need to know what you want to be. Do you want to make money? Making money is not actually a business plan. Making money is a catalyst in a business. It's something you will do, but it's not the whole purpose of having a business. So making money, let's say it's the catalyst, but what else you want to be? So we figured out, and we came up with the idea that actually, yeah, making money is really nice and good, but we want to provide solutions. We want to help people uh, figure things out. It's not about just making the money, it's about helping people making things easier. So we came up with the idea of why not release the buyback software to the public and just help people. It's a solution for a big problem that nobody's tackling. Like nobody's dealing with the buyback segment anywhere. I mean, maybe 1% of the whole industry dealing with the buyback segment. Nobody's trying to get to it. So we uh, we came with the mindset that okay, let's be a solution company. We're not just a repair company. We just want to provide more solutions, and we changed course, and things been doing great, and we're so excited about the future.
That's actually very interesting that you mention it because I believe that in any sort of line of work, it's really difficult to be able to find what you want to do. Like you mentioned, making money is good, but what do you want to, where do you want to be? What do you want to do exactly? I believe that is what a lot of people lack. And I'm pretty sure that repair shop owners, they feel like that as well. They want to have a sustainable business. They want to have things run smoothly. They want to be able to put food on the table and, make good money. But at the same time, what is it that they stand for? What is their identity? That is something that they need to look after because money can be made any which way. But actually being recognized for something, being able to identify with something is a lot more important because that's where icons come from. That's where someone who someone who is out there and is recognizable. That's how you get to know them, because they have their own identity. So what made you realize that this is what you want to do, and what was that journey like?
As I've said before, it was full of mistakes, and we had to figure out what's going wrong with the company. We were just opening locations and locations, 6 locations. We opened them in like 2 years, and that's not what we wanted. Opening locations is not the culture we wanted to get to. So we wanted, like I always say, before opening a business, before having a website, you need to know what's your business culture. What do you want to be? uh, do you want to be happy waking up in the morning going to your work, or you just want to put food on the table and just make money? Because making money and putting food on the table, as you said, you can do it anywhere. You don't have to have a repair shop or just owning a business for that. It's just something you can do working at McDonald's, which is not what you want. So business culture and knowing what you want to be down the road. Also, one other important factor is embracing the future, like leaning towards the future, not just leaning back away from the future. And I want to give an example, like Blockbuster. Back in the days, they were the top on the game. uh, Netflix started, nobody knew what Netflix is doing, but Netflix got it right because they embraced the future. They saw something coming that nobody's tackling. So that's the thinking and the mindset we started thinking about future. Think about the future, not just 2 years. Think about 4 years or 6 years from now. See where the direction is going. See what the future is going to bring, and start embracing it. Don't just run away from your future because will catch up with you and the future will win. So just have open mind for that.
Absolutely. And to be adding to that example, we also have the example of Nokia because they did pretty much the same thing. Back in the early 2000s, they were at the top of their game. Like every phone out there was a Nokia and they had the highest market share. But as soon as the iPhone releases, as soon as Android gets its legs, Nokia slowly starts declining into obscurity. And now they're basically a completely different company from what the original Nokia used to be. They still exist, but it's not exactly the same. They've had to reinvent themselves. Uh, and that's an example that is in parallel to Blockbuster, where Blockbuster wasn't able to reinvent itself in the wake of Netflix acquiring all that digital space. So being able to move with the times and pivot is really important, as you mentioned. I want to be able to talk about a little bit more things that you mentioned earlier with opening new locations. So you mentioned that you had a couple of locations that you opened, but they weren't really the way that you wanted things to progress, which is why you shut them down and sort of like consolidated all your business into one single location, from where then business boomed. So could you tell us a bit about the sort of challenges of opening new locations and the trouble that came with it? Because I believe the repair industry, a lot of people would associate opening a lot of locations with, all right, we're getting more revenue, we're getting more areas to cover. So that's good. Why was it different for you?
It was different because at the time this is happening, we got distracted with many things on our plates. Because I don't know if you know or not, we were also working in a point of sale for ourselves. We built our own point of sale from the ground up. It was used exclusively with us. We used it for 3 years or about 4 years. And in addition to doing the point of sale or opening other stores, then things start to get out of control, like supply chain and team members, training, all these sort of things. We start to drain money. We were not investing in the company. We were just doing it randomly without any thoughts about what we want to be. Because still at the same point, we really didn't know what we want to be. Do we want to be a software company or repair store or buyback company? And we started looking at all our options, and we figured out what we want to be. We just want to be a solution provider, whether it's a software buyback or a retail store. So we scaled down, and things been doing great with us since we closed the stores. Uh, at the same time, also, decision was very hard closing down 5 of the 6 stores. It was terrifying, but we, as I mentioned before, we like to think long term. Short term was looking bad, and the long term was embracing the future. So we got over it, and we're happy with it.
Right. Obviously, embracing the future is important, and I can understand, closing down 5 of your 6 stores is not an easy feat. It comes with, you need to have a lot of heart to be able to make that decision. But ultimately, it was the fact that you believed in what you were doing, and that was the right course of action. And I believe that decision came from looking at the way that things are progressing and looking at what the future is, like you mentioned, right? So, what sort of helped you come to realize that this is what the future is?
we started to look at our revenues, because at the same time we have the sellshark.com since about 13 years, and the retail was a bit slowing down also because of the COVID at the time. Things were slowing down, everybody was freaking out, everybody was closing, nobody going out, no outdoors, nothing. So we looked at our revenues from the sellshark.com, and we figured out this is what we need, this is what we're looking for, because without the buyback company that we have, we will not be able to provide any product to put on our retail store. Because at the time also, when we had 6 retail stores, we had to provide products everywhere. Like, every store was consuming about 30 to 40,000 dollar like every month. And this, we wanted to invest the money that we put in the retail in a better thing that will work for a long time, which is the buyback. And again, revenues on the buyback were topping any retail we're doing. The retail was still very decent, but it's not what we were looking for. And buyback was taken off, so we thought about why not just put our resources on the buyback and start providing solutions for people, and give the software for whoever want it, enterprise or repair stores. So that's the time we thought seriously about closing the stores.
All right. It's interesting that you mentioned about COVID and the pandemic because I believe that the way that business is being done has changed dramatically since last year when everything started. We've for lack of a better term, we've reached a new era in which to do business and where things are vastly different. As we've seen in the past year, it's very difficult for people to come out and get work done physically, so you have to rely a lot more on online services, on remote services, and I believe that your software allows for that and helps for that. Is it not?
Absolutely. So what happened is, we integrated an online e-commerce on our front end on the website. So at the time when people were not coming to the stores, they can actually order whatever they need from our front end on the website. And we were offering free delivery within, like, the city where we have the store. We're offering it for free. So everybody had to change the way they're running their business. And I believe it or not, we're one of the first retail stores in the city where we actually opened a drive-through on our store. So the doors were locked, but our drive-through was open, and we've restructured the whole store just to open the drive-through. And that also would stress my point about the future. Be ready for the future. We were not ready. Nobody was ready for the pandemic at all. So we opened the drive-through about May or June last year. So it was about time that we opened it. So that's what helped us a little bit about what's going on. But as you mentioned, also offering the online service was what we needed. So we started scaling up all our e-commerce, offering products online. People can check in, and we can ship whatever product people were looking for.
Interesting, interesting. So you started a drive-through system in the last year. How was your experience with that?
It's actually great, and people getting used to it. And sometimes we don't get any customers inside the store. They just drive through, and they will just help them in the drive through. They leave their products, we check them in, and they go to the parking, and they just come after 10 or 15 minutes, and we get things done. Some people were still freaking out getting inside the stores, even with the mask mandate and all these policies. But people were still preferring the no contact thing.
Right, I understand. It's got to be tough, obviously, because people do want to be able to keep themselves safe. So, was it any trouble to be able to set something like that up? The drive-through system that you had.
Uh, so it wasn't really easy at the time, because this was the same time we were closing the retail stores, and at the same time also we moved to another new location, because we wanted to integrate the operations and the retail under one store. So the store we have right now, this is the one we moved to, and we did the drive through lane in there. And this is the same store also where we have all our operations on the other side of the store. It has a bigger parking lot. So it was quite the challenge at the time. But uh, doing it wasn't really hard. We have enough space at the time, and it wasn't hard doing the part of the drive-through itself. But it just came around the time we're moving everything and we're shuffling and shifting the whole company. So that was the hard part of doing the drive-through.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, balancing everything that's going on with all the moving and the drive-through, which is a separate kind of thing that you have going on, that's got to be tough, obviously. I believe that that's actually a very smart move that you did to be able to, sort of relocate all your operations to one store and then have a drive-through there because that gets a lot of views and a lot of optics and a lot of business to go through that one location. So people know that, all right, if they want to find you, they can find you here, and this is the way to be able to do it in a very safe way in which we don't have to interact directly. And, we can follow COVID guidelines.
Absolutely, yeah. This is what happened at the time, and many people appreciated us doing that because it showed them we're serious about health and about protecting people around that time.
Right. That's great. So I'm guessing that, that helped you out in your community, trying to get the word out, trying to get the name out, and people trusted you a lot more with that. What sort of response did you get from the community according to that?
People didn't believe it first when they saw it. They they really didn't think there's a retail store with a drive-through, but they start to get used to it, and they appreciated the initiative that we have in the community, and it worked out well. We still have it open, and it's gonna stay.
All right, that's great. So, okay, so you're saying that it's going to stay. So, is it because of the current situation, or do you want to have it continue to run even after the pandemic is over?
Yeah, we wanted to continue to run because we want to give people options. Some people still want to be comfortable sitting in their cars and not just getting inside the store. And sometimes it's a very simple job that they can just drive through and get it done on the window in like 5 minutes. And it's a convenient way. So we're keeping it that way.
All right, that's great. That's really great. So, I'm guessing that, yeah, it really got you popular with your customers, and did you see a lot of influx of new customers coming in that you managed to retain over time?
We got new customers at the time because it was also a new location. We moved from our very first location, and that was a very new spot for us. So we got new clientels.
Right. And I'm pretty sure they were pretty happy with everything. The repair shop, really nice drive-through retail store opening up in our area.
Yeah, we people appreciated what we're doing. We Our store is in a conservative community, and people want to feel protected at the time, and they want to uh, see a responsible business doing what's necessary to get everybody protected.
That's really important actually. Yes, being protected, being safe while doing business is really important. And whether you're conservative or otherwise, that's definitely something to look out for. And that's something that businesses should provide. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. And at the time before we were opening it, I took some pictures and I posted it in the community. And I said, "Hey, this is our solution for embracing the future." Nobody saw that coming, but just people need to get ready, not just with a drive-through, but with the mindset in their business. Just don't stay still. Just explore things.
That's interesting. So is that picture up on your social media?
It is not on my personal social media. I don't post much on my personal Facebook stuff because I don't want it to get clogged with other things. I'm just keeping it simple. But I created a Facebook group. It's called Mac Attack. This is where we post pretty much anything business related. We have about 900 members on the group. So it's a group basically for wholesale, selling, buying, and sharing business tips.
All right, Mac Attack. That's what the name is. Sounds very interesting, and I'll definitely be able to check it out. I'd love to be able to see what you've got going there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so moving forward with some of the things that we had on the table. So, could you talk about some of the key factors that business owners should consider if they want to offer buybacks in their repair business?
Yeah, so starting with the buyback is not just it's just the beginning of the journey, and it doesn't end by just starting the buyback. starting the buyback, you must have other tools and other resources. For example, you must have the team that knows how to process all this buyback, how to do the testing. They need to have the tools to inspect the product. They also need to have the knowledge of how to test all the product. And above all, they need to know where they're going to sell these products. Like imagine you having a 300 Mac coming to your store, and just having it is just one part of the journey. You just need to know how to sell it, where you're going to sell it, how much you're going to sell it for, and there's many logistics involving after getting the buyback itself. So it's a journey, and we are more than happy and willing to provide any help, any support for the community, and that's what I've been trying to do since 2 years on the Mac Attack group, trying to stress on the ethics of running a business. It's not just about making money; it's about being consistent and the good quality you're providing, about having the business culture, about educating the customers, about treating customers like clients, uh, all these kind of things. So it starts with the buyback. Then there are many resources, as I mentioned, tools, human resources, venues for selling the products that you have.
Right. A lot of technical knowledge definitely goes into this. It's not something that you can jump into blindly, as I get it. So, is there any recommendations from your end on, where they can start with, or where they can, like sell their products once they got into the buyback system?
Yeah, we would be more than happy to provide venues for selling the products, or showing them where to sell it, and we'll be more than happy also to provide the pricing of what they are selling. And if they have multiple locations, like multiple retail locations, uh, I would recommend first starting offering the product in your own retail store, and any overflow you can start wholesaling it. And there are many venues we'll be providing as we get clear to the release date of the software. We'll have a community running all these technical questions about the software. It's not just about just providing the software. It's just about providing solutions from A to Z.
Absolutely. Solutions are very important. And that's, I believe, a lot of companies sort of tend to get wrong. They feel like, like we've talked about before, that they tend to think mostly about the money, about the revenue that comes in. But in essence, whether you're providing a product or you're providing a service, you're basically solving a problem for your client, for your customer. You're giving them the answer to the question that they have or the trouble that they have. And that's essentially what a lot of businesses sort of need to create their mindset around. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's not just about selling something from a customer, or buying something from a customer, or making money for a customer. It's more about adding value to what you're doing to the customer. There are many competition around everybody. Like, why someone will choose you over the competition? Uh, Customers are not driven by the prices. Some areas they are driven by the prices, but majority of the customers they are driven by what they are getting from you. They need the added value, not just about cheap pricing. If your business driven by lowering the prices, your business is not gonna work out well. So you just need to provide more than the low prices. You need to provide an added value. What's the customer experience at your store? Is the customer treated right or not? Do you listen to the customers or not? Do you educate the customers or not? The way you talk to the customer. Some repair stores they like to throw like big words on the customer, like, "Hey, this computer is 2.4 gigahertz. It's better than the 2.3 gigahertz." Majority of the customers they don't know the difference between 2.3 and 2.4. You just need to speak the language. You just need to listen to them, why you need to buy this specific computer, what this computer is gonna help you with. Not the specs, not the numbers, not the metrics. It's about the benefit of buying something from you or visiting your store.
Absolutely. And the difference here is that each product or each solution that you provide is tailored to a customer. Like you mentioned right now, a they don't know the difference between a 2.3 or a 2.4, but depending on what my use case is, whether I want to use it for productivity or I want to use it for casual browsing, I'd opt for either a 2.3 if I want to do lightweight work, or 2.4 if I want to go a bit higher, if I want something more advanced. So that's absolutely right that it is it's tailored to each customer's specific need. And also to sort of like roll back into something that you mentioned earlier, it also has to deal with a lot of, like, the ethics of how to do business, like you mentioned, in that you understand that you have to sort of like have that ethical constraint of dealing with the customer properly to be able to provide them that solution. So, like you mentioned, providing those ethics is really important. So, could you tell us about what sort of values are very important, and how you came to realize that these are the things that customers need?
Yeah, so I always try to put myself in the customer shoes. If I'm going to a business that I think they want to make as much money as they can from me, I wouldn't appreciate that business. I want to go to a business that shows motivation to help me, shows motivation to make me happy, shows the motivation to just find solution for what I'm asking for. When a customer goes to a repair store looking for an iPhone screen replacement, they're looking for an experience. They don't want just the screen replaced. They want someone to greet them. They want someone to get personal with them. They want to talk with the customer. They want a happy face on the front of the store. So this is all just the customer experience that everybody's looking for. And believe it or not, your customers like to know what you believe in. If you believe in providing good solutions, that's what the customers would love. Uh, I have been in the retail myself before I go to the operation. I have been doing retail on our company for like 4 or 5 years, and I've been in the storefront. One thing I was doing, and here's the thing: if you don't like what you're doing, don't do it. Quit your job. If you love what you're doing, just keep it normal, natural. People will appreciate. So I made a habit. Customer walks in. I'm a I like people. I like talking with people. So the customers will walk in. I will chat with them. We'll talk about things. I'm not talking about the phone or the screen. This is not my main focus. And it's not that I want the customer to feel that I'm not talking about the phone. It's that I like talking with people. So make the people welcome getting in your store. I still have customers from maybe 10 years. They message me personally and I respond to them. This is the commitment you're looking for. Uh, the customer, they don't want someone to just make money out of them. Just help people, listen to people, help them with what they need.
That's a very interesting way to look at it, because you have to, at the end of the day, I think, in business, you sort of forget the fact that the customer that you're dealing with, the client that you're dealing with on the other end, is actually in fact a person. They have their own lives, they have their own dreams, their needs, their wants. They have their own values, and to be able to treat them on that human level and to make that connection is very important, not just as a business owner, but as a normal human being as well. It's really important, and the human element is basically what drives everything else. You want success in your business, you want better relationships, you want to have a great day. Just smile at someone, talk to them, ask them about their day, and exchange a few words, and that human connection will get you what you need, because that's how the world operates. And I feel that a lot of people, a lot of businesses don't realize that.
Yeah. So I'm saying don't fake it. Just make a habit. If you're smiling for people, you'll just keep doing it. If you're happy in front of the customer, you'll just keep being happy. People appreciate that. And if you're faking it, this is not the business for you. If you're not happy waking up in the morning going to your work, this is not the business for you. If you're not happy helping customers and feeling pride that you solved a problem for a customer, this is not the business for you.
Those are words to live by. So I believe that all this very strong these strong ideals, they come from a very strong personal journey, and I believe that you've gone through a personal journey that's been very moving and motivating. So could you tell us about the sort of changes that you've undergone in your personal life, from the business that you've run and from other things that have gone and how it affected you as a person.
So I'm an immigrant. I didn't have any history on United States before 2008. So it's being an immigrant. It's a different story in here. You have to work twice as much. You have to do things more than everybody else. You have to show love to people. You have to help people. You have to respect people's privacy. Uh, I started doing this business in like 2010-ish. I was doing ads on Craigslist, meeting people in our living room, stocking parts everywhere. This is how I started. And to answer your question about what business did to my personal life, so at the time everything was running on my living room, and my wife is very supportive, really very supportive, but she couldn't take it anymore. Like there was no living room. There was iPads and iMacs and computers and hard drives in every corner. So this is the time I realized, you know what? Yes, I make good money and everything is good, but it's not about just making the money. I just want to have a purpose of having a business. It's making the money is it's a catalyst, as I said. It's fine and it's great, but I need to figure something out. So at the time, I met one of our business partner, John. John is the mastermind of all the software and the buyback. He's really the guy for all these things. So we started the journey at that time by starting opening the stores and integrating our repair business with the buyback business, and we start to have other uh, owners with us. So right now we're four owners at the business running the whole companies, and we share the same mindset. Uh, we take care of customers. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you lose money. Sometimes you make money. It's losing money doesn't make you look like a loser or sucker. So sometimes you lose money, but it helps you with the long term. And few things I see with some repair stores, like the new repair stores, someone sometime will like lose 200 in a product, or they break something while doing it. They don't want to make a try to the customer. So this is one of the ethics part that I'm talking about. They will get mad about losing 200. They wouldn't sleep at night about losing 200. But the way I look at it, losing 200 is part of running a business. It's like paying your gas bill. It's like paying your electricity. It's like paying your phone bills. It's like paying for marketing. So this is some of the parts I learned through all the journey that I had. Running a business, it's not easy. It's really not hard either. It's just you just need to compromise things in your life. So uh, yeah, one of the things that really hit me hard was when my wife wasn't happy with me running all the business in the living room. So we had to open the stores, and this is how the journey started.
Well, I'm in a way, it's kind of nice that your wife was a little angry at you because that's basically what motivated you to get to where you are. And all credit goes to your wife there over there. So yeah, congratulations on that. And I'm really happy that you were able to have that sort of thing work for you because being an immigrant, it's like you mentioned, it's not easy, and you have to work really hard to be able to have an equal footing with everyone else. And even then, sometimes that's not enough. But to be able to make that journey, find people along the way, and to make a business that not just makes good money, but makes you happy and your family happy, that's what I believe is the real success. And it doesn't matter who thinks otherwise. You are definitely not a loser there because you've made it where a lot of other people haven't even begun to realize it.
Absolutely. So it was a rough journey, and there are help I got from people. People still offering help, and this is something I appreciate. But it's just working hard and working smart and having high values of ethics and privacy. That's what made a difference with me when I started. Respecting people's things, showing people the care that I have for what they need, listening to people. Sometimes I would have customers coming in my living room till like midnight because someone wanted to see how I'm doing something, and I was happy showing people things. I didn't mind. I still don't mind showing people how I do things. It's just it's something I like, and I feel happy showing people how I'm doing it. So it was a rough journey at the beginning, as I explained. It's you have to work so hard, work smart, work more than anybody else.
But ultimately it pays off, and it's the human connection that's gotten you there, which is great. So that's excellent, and I believe that this is working out great for you, and hopefully this will get you much greater in the future. So tell us a bit more about how people can find you if they want to search you out. Where can they look you up on social media or elsewhere?
So the easiest way to find me on social media, it's the Mac Attack group. As I mentioned, we have 900 members on there. So pretty much we have a big community there on this group. We have a physical location in Ballwin, Missouri. And the easiest way also finding me is via email, Sayed at iTechshark.com. Again, it's SAYED at iTechshark.com. I'm also on LinkedIn. So these are the easiest way to find me.
That's great. So email and LinkedIn and your Facebook group is where we can reach out to you. So that's great. And I believe that a lot of more people will be reaching out to you and, making that human connection with you. So thank you so much for everything, Side. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, you have a great time now.
You too. Thank you. Bye.